If I told you what I saw last night, you wouldn't believe me. Like, I can't even wrap my head around it. The scariest shit I've ever experienced. I can't even talk about it without sounding crazy. But here it goes. I went to do laundry around 2 a.m. with my oldest son. After we put the laundry in, we went to a McDonald's drive-thru to get something to drink. The drive-thru was packed with about 5 or 6 cars ahead of us. I noticed that none of the cars were moving forward, and it had already been like 5 minutes of us waiting. So, I decided to go around the car in front of me to the next drive-thru lane. McDonald's has 2 lanes, and as I'm pulling around them, I look over to their car to see why they're not moving. And I kid you not, both people, driver and passenger, looked like they were dead. Heads tilted all the way back, eyes shut, not moving. I freaked out and tried to pull out of the drive-thru entirely, going around the other cars just to get out of there. And I kid you not, the next car I passed, all the passengers looked the same way, like they were dead. Their heads tilted back and eyes shut. I panicked, thinking maybe they were all shot or someone killed them, so I fucking hit the gas and got the fuck out of there. I couldn't fathom what happened, or even barely speak, as I was hyperventilating. My son called 911 and told them what happened, and they sent an officer to check. A few minutes later, the cop called us back and said everything was fine at McDonald's. Mind you, my son saw it too. We both saw the car in front of us, and the people looked dead. This shit was terrifying. It literally looked like one of those rapture movies, or the end of the world type shit. Needless to say, I can't wrap my head around what we saw, or why. I'm still scared over it. I know I'm not crazy, because my son saw it too, but it feels crazy to even say. Anyway, yeah, the scariest shit ever. My friend messaged me and said that she thinks we experienced a glitch. This is so new to me, I've never heard of glitches even being a thing, but I'm super freaked out and would love to know your thoughts, because I have severe anxiety, and I feel so fucking crazy right now. This happened in January 2015. I was 3 months pregnant with our first son. My ex-husband woke me up extremely excited. Manic, you could say. "Where were you? What the fuck?" he yelled. It was no later than 4 a.m., so I was very disoriented, and immediately started an argument, which ended with me not really remembering going to bed the night before. Talking more about it, I realized an extra 2 days had passed, and I was completely blank. The last thing I remembered was throwing leftovers from our food that we ordered for dinner 2 nights prior. It was about 7 p.m., and my ex-husband had went to get his car back from his mechanic. He said that I okayed him calling Uber from my phone, but I can't recall that. After he came back, I was nowhere to be found. My keys, wallet, and phone were all there, but I was gone. He immediately went to the only neighbor that we used to hang out with, but I wasn't there either. He waited a few more hours and called the police. From what he said, the next 2 days were hell. The hospital kept calling, I'm a nurse. Friends that I had made plans with called, but no one had any idea where I was. On the 3rd day, I just appeared in our bed in pajamas. The door was locked, and my ex-husband hadn't even been asleep. He was drinking and walking around the house the whole night. I didn't lose my job, and we had no problems with authorities, but to this day, I can't figure out what could have happened. So, this happened about 7 or 8 years ago. My husband and I were lying in bed one night, watching television. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a child in the doorway of our bedroom. Thinking it was our only child at the time, I tapped my hubby and said, "Hey, look, I think Connor is going to try and scare us." He turns and looks, and this child walked into our room. I can't explain it because it was one of those moments that seemed somehow different. We watched in silence, soon realizing that this child was not our son. He toddles in, head slightly tilted back, curls bouncing, and diaper squishing as he goes to the end of our bed. We see his head go down like he was crouching, and when we got out to look, he was gone. I looked at Chris, my husband, and said, Did we just see a ghost?" Then, almost as an afterthought, I said, "Well, we know if we have another baby and he has curls, that he was here before he was born." We both laughed because we weren't trying to have another baby at the time. Just in case, we go to check on our son, and he was fast asleep. A few months later, I'm pregnant. Surprise. So, fast forward, and our new baby, Liam, is 2. He toddles into the room, head tilted slightly back and curls bouncing. And it hit me like a bucket of ice water. Holy crap, this is the baby that came to visit us. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind. Now, on top of that, whenever Liam is staying the night elsewhere, like with my parents, he comes to visit me in my sleep. For example, one time, he came and just smiled at me while I was taking a nap. He was in a little red shirt, and his hair was cut short. He left with it long. The next day, I go to pick the kiddos up from Mom, and lo and behold, his hair is freshly cut, and he's wearing a little red shirt. I ask my mom, "Did he wear this yesterday?" And she replies, "Oh, yeah, he did, but he insisted on wearing it today, so he is." So, I look at him and say, "Did you go see Mommy yesterday in Mommy's dreams?" He just looked at me. He was 4, all big blue eyes and serious, and nodded his head. So, that's my glitch in the Matrix story. One of many, but the most profound. Our son, I guess, travels astral, and even stopped to see us before he was born. I would know those curls anywhere. The fact that my husband witnessed it with me makes it even more weird, but utterly fascinating. Thanks for listening. So this evening, my partner and I were upstairs sorting laundry when his daughter called us downstairs as dinner was ready. I was heading down the stairs, and my partner right behind me, literally 2 steps behind. He did his usual thing of tickling the back of my neck as we walked. The bottom of our stairs is wooden, so you can hear when somebody steps onto it from the carpeted stairs. When we got to the bottom, my feet hit the floor as usual. I turned to ask him something, and he wasn't there. He wasn't fucking there. I totally froze for a second, and looked up the steps, and there he was, on the top step, pale and shaking. I asked him what the fuck just happened, and he kept saying, "I don't know. I don't know. I was behind you, and before I hit the bottom, the next step took me back upstairs." We're pretty freaked out. We didn't say shit to our daughter, as she's already leery of stuff, and him and I are somewhat used to it. So this actually happened last week. It just took me some time to come to terms with it. I got a phone call from my next door neighbor late in the evening asking if I can help him move a mattress upstairs. His mom is ill and has a big, heavy, a sleep number bed. I, of course, ran over to help because they're great neighbors. I get over there, and his friend, who is also a priest, was there to help too. I helped them figure out how to separate the mattress from the bed so that we could fit it up the stairs. We get it all moved up and back in place when my neighbor asks if I can help him move a dresser upstairs too. I think nothing of it, and we pull it out of his travel trailer and start bringing it up the front stairs of his house. This is where I died. The front stairs are 11 steps. I was on the lower end of the dresser, about 6 steps up, when my neighbor and his friend lose their handle on the dresser, and it comes crashing down on me, and I fall backwards toward the pavement. I then wake up in my dining room to my phone ringing and my wife asking me if I'm going to answer the phone. It's my neighbor asking me if I can help him move a bed upstairs for his mom. I go over there and meet his priest friend again, as this is again the first time I meet him. I say I can help with the bed, but I cannot help with the dresser. My neighbor was like, "How'd you know about the dresser?" I then proceeded to tell him that I was pretty sure that I just died. I spent the next hour talking with the priest. He had so many questions. My neighbor didn't believe it until I described the upstairs bedroom in perfect detail, down to the metal mattress frame on the floor and the intricate headboard leaning against the wall, and I had never been upstairs in their house before. The priest asked me what I saw after I died. I told him that I never actually did, because before I did, I woke up at my dining room table